Hey, welcome to another episode of 10 with Tom. This is episode 10, and lots of 10s there. And this is where we explore faith 10 minutes at a time. And today we're talking about taking the higher road. So someone sent me this story, this parable that I would love to read to you today. It says this: "Come," said the teacher, "let us go up a mountain." So we did. There was nothing easy about it. I had to rest several times just to catch my breath. Finally, we made it to the top. "Look at that," he said, pointing at the beautiful panorama before us. It was worth the climb. "Do you know what that's called in Hebrew?" "Torture," I responded. "No," said the teacher. "It's called Aliyah. It means going up, the ascent. When you read the scriptures, when Jesus goes to Jerusalem, you'll find the word up used. And it was not only because of the physical terrain, but Jerusalem is the holy city. So to go to Jerusalem is to make Aliyah, the upward journey. A spiritual people must make a spiritual journey. "What's the journey?" I asked. "Your life," said the teacher. "Your entire life is an Aliyah. It's an upward journey. Every day you will be given choices. Every choice will give you the chance to go lower, to stay the same, or to go higher. Choose the higher path, even if it's harder. Take the higher step, and your life will be an Aliyah." I love that idea of an Aliyah, of this upward journey, that our life is an upward journey. And so today I thought I'd give you 5 ways to take the high road. The first is this: look inside before you look outside. There's a famous verse where Jesus says, "How dare you point out the speck in your brother's eye when you have a log in your own eye?" He says, "Fool, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you can help your brother with a speck in his." And that's a challenge. And so next time you're feeling frustrated or annoyed or angry with someone or something, ask yourself, where is this coming from? This emotion, this anger, this frustration. You know, sometimes we all say, they make me so angry, or he makes me so angry, or, if only my spouse didn't do this, or if my boss, he just makes me so mad. But that's not really the truth. I mean, I know I've said that many times, and my kids are even in on that game. I'll say, "Why did you hit your brother?" "Because he made me so angry." And what I'm trying to learn, what I'm trying to teach myself and teach my kids, is that no other person actually, or circumstance, can make me feel a particular way. Of course, people, events can kind of prompt painful emotions, but how I react in the situation is always a matter of choice. Eleanor Roosevelt said this. She said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So don't give them consent." It's so easy to blame other people, to look around and see fault in others. It's so much harder to take personal responsibility, to own our own stuff. It is the harder path. It is the higher road. It is the Aliyah way. The second point in taking the high road is to research before you react. I mean, we've been speaking in this series, Asking for a Friend on Sundays, and the question I asked is, how can we know the truth in a world of alternative facts, in a world filled with fake news, in a post-truth world where some would argue that there is no truth? And I think in that kind of world, it's so easy for us to be swayed, to give into sort of simple ideas or oversimplistic explanations, or to be swayed by conspiracy theories or fear-mongering. We watch a YouTube video and we think, the world's ending or whatever. But the scriptures are clear. In Philippians it says, "And it is my prayer that your love may abound more and more with knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent." The Bible speaks about being discerning. In 1 John 4 verse 1, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." It says test the spirits, test things, be wise, be discerning. Don't just believe everything you read or hear or see on the internet. And I know that takes more time, to do the research. If you see something that kind of maybe fits with the way you think, and you kind of get pushed by that, just pause for a moment and kind of do the research. Find out if there are people who disagree with this point of view. Learn how to argue the upside of the opposite point of view, because it helps us to give a more rounded view, even if we still land on the same outcome. And again, I know it takes more time and takes more effort to do the research before you react. It takes more self-awareness, but it is the higher path. It is the Aliyah way. Third thing I think that we can do to choose the higher road is to choose love over fear. Like I said on Sunday, as we spoke about truth, we live in a world that's kind of wrestling between truth and lies. We live in a battleground, in a battlefield. The Bible speaks about this, that there is a battle going on, and it's a battle primarily of ideas. It's a battle for our mind, a battle between lies and truth. And so often the lies that are the ones that capture us the easiest are the ones that play to our inherent fears. Oh, you're not safe, or they're coming for you, or they want to control you. All these things. It's like the very kernel of truth around, which conspiracy theories are built. And I thought about this, the opposite of lies is not simply truth, but truth in love. And so my encouragement, and I said this in the message on Sunday, if you missed it, go watch it, but I said, look for love. When you're battling to discern the truth, when you're battling to know what is true or who to trust or what to trust, look for love. Does this video or tweet or person or idea, does it stir up anger or fear or hate, or is it loving? Is it generous towards others, especially others who don't think like me or look like me or come from my same background? And does it have me turning towards people or turning away from my brother, from my sister? And so is it loving? Again, love is the harder way. It's the harder path. To forgive someone when they've hurt you, to listen when all you want to do is make your point or argue your point, to be kind, especially in the face of unkindness. This is the harder way, the higher road, the Aliyah. Fourth point around choosing the higher road is choose what you want most over what you want now. That for me is like the best definition I've heard. I don't know who said it, but the best definition of discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Because when that alarm goes off in the morning, and you're supposed to go for a run, what you want now is to stay in bed. But what you want most is to be fit or to run that race or whatever that goal is. What you want now is to eat the cookie, but what we want most is to be fit and healthy and lose weight or feel good about ourselves or whatever that is. And so discipline is about choosing what we want most over what we want now. And I don't think that's so much about willpower, because willpower comes and goes. I think it's about pre-deciding what we want most. It's about having vision for our lives or having goals for the season, and then establishing routines and habits and systems that essentially negate the willpower. Because, if you don't buy cookies, then when you wake up in the middle of the night and are craving them, you don't go eat them because they're just not there. And so it's about establishing systems. Choosing discipline, I think, is about choosing freedom. It's about choosing short-term pain for long-term gain. And yet so often we do the opposite. We choose short-term gain, and that leads us to long-term pain. And so it's the harder path. It's the higher step. It's the Aliyah. And then the final thing I think that we can do to choose the higher road is to pause before you respond. That famous quote, 4 things that we can never get back: a stone after it's thrown, a word after it's said, an occasion after it's missed, and time after it's gone. And those first 2 really stuck out at me. A stone after it's thrown and a word after it's said. And I don't know about you, but I know I've said things in anger or in frustration or in a place of hurt, from a place of woundedness, that I regret, and that has caused so much damage to myself, to the people around me, even to my kids. And if I just had a moment to pause, just to gather myself, to bring my brain back online, and then to respond rather than to react, I think I would have saved myself a lot of grief and the people around me. And so pause, practice the pause. It's a practice, it's a discipline. Pause before judging, pause before assuming, pause before jumping to conclusions, pause before accusing, pause whenever you're about to react harshly or unkindly. And I think you'll avoid saying and doing things that you will regret. And so pause before you react. And again, this is the harder road. This is the higher way. This is the higher step. It is the Aliyah. And so to summarize, look inside before you look outside. Research before you react. Choose love over fear. Choose what you want most over what you want now. And I want to leave you with this, that your mission today, my mission today or this week, is to choose the higher act, to choose the higher step, to take the higher ground and the higher path with every decision. And then I believe we will make our life an Aliyah. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope these videos are helpful and encouraging to you as we explore faith 10 minutes at a time. 10 with Tom. Share it, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.